Thui, 10-22, 2025, 10:31 a.m. In the heart of what was once hailed as the world's economic powerhouse, a stark and sobering reality is unfolding across China in 2025. The glittering facade of rapid growth and modernization is cracking under the weight of systemic failures, leaving millions in despair. Streets that once bustled with ambition now echo with the footsteps of the unemployed, the hungry, and the hopeless. Work from makeshift fires curls into the sky, not from factories humming with production, but from desperate crowds scavenging for scraps of firewood amid barren landscapes. Every day brings the same chaotic scenes, people fighting over the remnants of a collapsing economy where survival has eclipsed prosperity. As one weary soul puts it, "I'd rather bleed slowly to pay off debts than drag on like this." Living has become unbearable, and the sinking boat of economic hardship engulfs not just individuals, but entire communities, families, and generations. This is the hidden face of China today, a nation grappling with a profound economic downturn that has permeated every corner of society. In cities like Guangdong, where temperatures soar above 30 degc, the streets are jammed not with thriving commerce, but with suffocating crowds mired in despair. Industries are shattered, jobs have vanished, and businesses lie in ruins. Whether young graduates fresh from university or elderly workers pushed out of the workforce, lives are collapsing under the pressure. Careers evaporate overnight, homes are foreclosed, and lifetimes of hard work are wiped away in the blink of an eye. In Guangdong province, once a beacon of industrial might, finding employment has become a Sisyphean task. Many return to their hometowns penniless and starving, surviving on meager rations like chili mixed with leftover rice. College graduates, after years of rigorous study, find themselves labeled as spares, unwanted in a job market that no longer values their skills. The statistics paint a grim picture. China's youth unemployment rate for those aged 16 to 24, excluding students, surged to a record 18.9% in August 2025, the highest since Beijing revised its calculation methods in 2023. This figure represents not just numbers, but shattered dreams. Over 12.2 million new graduates entering a job market plagued by weak demand, skill mismatches, and an overall economic slowdown. The crisis is so acute that some young professionals resort to faking employment in fake work offices to maintain appearances, a symptom of the sky-high unemployment rates that have hovered around 20% since the pandemic. Physical stores are shuttering en masse. Entire malls stand as empty husks, with bare shelves gathering dust. In Taihu, within a mere 30-meter stretch, 10 to 15 stores sit abandoned, most with 4N signs flapping in the wind like flags of surrender. The story repeats in Suzhou and beyond, unemployment soaring, mass layoffs ripping through industries, wages slashed in half or more. Shop owners, once pillars of local economies, now hang signs that read, "Sorry, we've closed down," as their dreams crumble. The economic breakdown has warped even the most personal aspects of life. In a society where marriage was once rooted in tradition and affection, many now contemplate unions not for love, but for sheer survival. The pressure to pool resources amid financial ruin has turned relationships into lifelines. On Kaming Street, nearly every storefront is shuttered, leaving the once vibrant area deserted and ghostly. Job seekers wander aimlessly, forming hopeless lines around playgrounds in the faint hope of work, only to disperse, empty-handed, by 5:30 p.m. In Xiaoping, the crowds of desperate hunters stretch into endless queues, a living tableau of societal collapse. Supermarkets, once hubs of abundance, now echo with emptiness. Aside from a skeleton staff and a handful of forlorn shoppers, their vast halls in places like Nongkong resemble abandoned warehouses. Massive malls, symbols of consumer excess, stand devoid of customers, their escalators silent and still. TUI, 10/22/2025, 10:31 a.m. Mall restaurants cling to existence by a thread, hawking meals at prices so low it pains the conscience to consume them. Dumplings, rujiamo, Chinese burgers, and simple soups go for under 10 yuan, a fraction of what they once cost. Delivery riders, caught in brutal price wars on apps like Meituan and LMA, leave notes pleading for forgiveness if profits dip too low. Even luxury hotels have been humbled, reduced to street stall operations to scrape by. This scene replicates across China, shops shutting down in droves, graduates adrift without prospects, middle-aged workers discarded like obsolete machinery, and millions teetering on the edge of starvation. Analysts warn that public anger simmers like a volcano on the brink of eruption, with 1.4 billion Chinese voices crying out in unison. The reality is shocking and multifaceted. According to World Bank estimates, while China has lifted over 800 million people out of extreme poverty since 1978, the pace has slowed dramatically. In 2025, poverty reduction at the upper middle mange benchmark is projected to lift only 22 million people, down from 29 million in 2023 amid sluggish growth. Over capital, household disposable income grew faster in rural areas 6.2% than in cities, 4.7% in the first half of 2025. But overall, 85% of households earn less than 50,000 yuan annually, with nearly a billion scraping by on under 2,000 yuan. Survival has supplanted living as the norm, with inequality exacerbating the divide. Teachers watch helplessly as their children, after more than a decade of education, graduate into a void of hopelessness. Without connections, Guangxi degrees are worthless, leaving parents feeling as if the sky itself is collapsing. Some even regret bringing life into this unforgiving world. Rage bubbles beneath the surface, but with tightening speech restrictions, it has nowhere to vent. Markets have devolved into bare necessities. Potatoes, noodles, and vegetables dominate, with meat a rare luxury, consumed perhaps once a year. Businesses have shrunk into precarious online shops or loan apps, while state media peddles illusions of prosperity. Dreams of upward mobility have contracted into mere survival. Happiness flickers as fleeting illusions. On Shichao East Road, every storefront bears "for rent" or transfer signs, a testament to the bleeding real economy. In Jinan, a provincial capital with high rents and labor costs, a big bowl of noodles costs just 6.9 yuan, with an egg, handmade varieties for 6.6 yuan, and some as low as 5 yuan. With 100 yuan, one could stretch to 30 meals, a stark indicator of consumption downgrade. The environment is evaporated, business is impossible, and it's not isolated. Millions can't make ends meet. At the online flaunting of luxury cars and mansions, most are filters and facades. Peer closer. How many friends receive pay on time? How many small business owners thrive? This is the real China in 2025, collapsed, suffocating, drenched in despair. Take the story of a 1995-born individual, now 30, drowning in 4.4 million yuan of debt. Their factory shuttered, home mortgaged, grinding year after year only to watch conditions worsen. "I'm 30 and I have nothing," they lament. Or the poignant tale of a boss encountering a young woman who collected bottles for 100 yuan, only to face rejection at supermarkets, suspecting counterfeit money. "Don't panic, little sister. It's real. What do you want to eat?" The kids are hungry. A simple bowl of wonton becomes an act of charity amid crumbling commerce. Business is so dire that switching on a light feels like extravagance. Unemployment statistics, often massaged by authorities, belie the truth. Ask instead, if you're employed, how many months' pay have you received this year? It's October 2025 and friends report payments stalled since March. Wander a massive mall on a random Wednesday. It's hollow, a cavern of unfulfilled potential. Education leads to work. Work to more work, yet degrees guarantee nothing. Brick and mortar shops cascade into bankruptcy. TUI, 10/22/2025, 10:31 a.m. One place shuts, another follows. Storefronts vacant for months with no takers. Streets are eerily empty, people retreating into isolation. Provinces like Nanjing, Jiangsu, and Guangdong offer no sanctuary. Migrants drag suitcases between cities, unable to settle. September, traditionally a time of renewal, feels like end times. Heartless hordes dreaming only of returning home. Factories demand cheap labor but reject older workers. Seeking bodies without burdens, wages plummet to starvation levels. Witness the desperation. A girl in Beijing's CBD pilfering bread from a bakery, her act born of necessity. What else can you do, observers ask? This is a slow, grinding, depression-devouring lives. Youth unemployment climbs while censorship tightens, stifling outlets for frustration. Even overseas events, like upheavals in Nepal, ripple back as platforms block content, severing livelihoods for creators. At home, hospitals withhold wages for months, offering paltry bases of over 1,000 yuan and delaying performance pay until resignation. Post-2000 generations buckle under pressure. Even those with mortgages, children, and aging parents. Entire cities feel ill, industries coughing and fading. Once buzzing spots like Seafood World now feature shuttered restaurants and empty tables. Death comes not from a single blow, but 1,000 small cuts. Relentless, hollowing out souls until only survival remains. Has consumerism halted? Clothing shops grind through exhaustion, sales plummeting. Hojin Commercial District and Zhengzhou Mall, former hives of activity, are now hollow shells with broken escalators. An eerie silence pervading. Salaries tell tales. In Gulan City, earnings that were 500 yuan 5 years ago now hover at 10,000. Yet shortfalls of 8,600 yuan persist. Where does the money go? Where are the jobs? There's a 985 university graduate struggling for steady work. Confidential salary systems mask grotesque gaps. A state-owned worker earning 4,000 yuan monthly with a 1,000 yuan bonus discovers their boss's windfall 20 times the average, over 300 times their own. Acceptance of hierarchy crumbles under such obscenity. Tanzan Street is blacked out. Yatai Street stalled in perpetual recovery. Homes gleam externally but rot inside. All show no substance. Parents who missed booms bequeath bills and burnout. On buses, elders boast 10,000 yuan pensions while youth scrape 3,000 yuan and pay fares. It ignites resentment. Every trade groans under low tide. Perhaps little promise is a rainbow, perhaps. Then there are ghost markets, lit up buildings like stage sets, empty within. A fur shop guards unsold coats. Construction halls flicker with solitary stalls. Dead silence surpasses darkness. History warns. Systems snap under inequality and corruption. Whispers of collapse won't feed today but grinding reality. Stores shuttering, jobs vanishing, streets emptying by decay, demands attention. This isn't abrupt. It's incremental erosion, wearing life to survival mode. Assuming self-correction, walk these streets, listen. The damage is omnipresent. Beneath it all lurks a terrifying truth. China's grand construction boom is smoke and mirrors. Elaborate death traps masquerading as progress, homes, schools, roads, betrayals of trust. What we see isn't negligence, it's criminal. Drilling risks arrest. Behind progress slogans lies deadly illusion. Watch closely. Workers skip bolts on steel columns. No drilling, just precarious resting. Tremors could topple all. Welding faked with glue and nickel plating, cosmetic, not structural. Walls hide foam under plaster. Screwdrivers pierce easily, kick shutter frames like cardboard. In Chengdu, river railings foam-filled, yellow props for safety. Bricks crumble to lime filler disintegrating in hands. Like tofu, gasps one. Fraud peaks with life-saving items. Fire extinguishers spew useless powder, failing flames. Betrayal deepest in sanctuaries. In Guangzhou, a hospital ceiling collapsed on an elderly patient with cerebral hemorrhage. Response prioritized infrastructure over life. TUI, 10/22/2025, 10:31 a.m. Isn't illness enough? Netizens rage. In Shao, lobby ceilings crushed patients, injuring 4. Jilin outpatient caves sparked fury. Even hospitals are tofu projects. In Linggu, a patient narrowly escaped bathroom collapse. Schools fare no better. Fuzhou classroom injured a student. Parents terrified under crumbling roofs. OMS? Security cameras capture ceilings burying girls on sofas. Miraculous survival. Fathers post destroyed bedrooms. I was sleeping. Why? Hotels hospitalized guests from overnight falls. No safe space. Hospitals, schools, homes, hotels, all illusions collapsing overhead. In 2025, incidents multiply. Bangkok's under-construction building by Chinese firms collapsed post-earthquake, drawing tofu-dreg comparisons. In Anhui, a roof caved. A 108 m steel bridge snapped in seconds, killing 16. These aren't anomalies, but symptoms of corruption, regulatory failures. Cheap materials, corner-cutting, censorship, muzzles, debates. But whispers persist on X. China's infrastructure falling apart, entire cities empty. Collapse due to CCP mismanagement. In the essence, just a matter of how much detachment you feel from the other. The regime raids pensions, leaves civil servants unpaid, forces programmers into parks. Over 1,800 factories closed in 30 days. Banking and real estate crises deepen. Youth unemployment nears 50%. CIS purges breed enemies. Morale plummets amid property woes. Social credit blacklists exacerbate homelessness, barring jobs and services. China's economic miracle unravels. Inequality surges. Guinea at 136. Rural-urban gaps widen. Wealth slows to 4.8% officially, but estimates suggest 2.4. 2.8% ghost cities, no funds for infrastructure. Parents deliver food with kids. Families crushed without safety nets. The volcano of anger teeters. Share thoughts. Subscribe for updates on this surge of despair. Thank you for tuning in.